Welcome to my channel Perfect Guardian, and I'll tell you the spiritual significance of Navaratri. Ratri means night and Nava means the 9. At Navaratri, the 9 nights, the Lord in the form of the Mother Goddess is worshipped in various forms as Durga, Lakshmi and Saraswati. Though the Goddess is one, she is represented and worshipped in 3 different aspects. On the first 3 nights of the festival, Durga is worshipped. On the following 3, Lakshmi, and then Saraswati Devi on the last 3 nights. The following 10th day is called Vijayadasami. Vijaya means victory. The victory over our own minds. It can come only when we have worshipped these 3, Durga, Lakshmi and Saraswati. Now Durga, the gain noble virtues. All evil tendencies in the mind must be destroyed. This destruction is represented by the goddess Durga. Durga is durgati harini. She who removes our evil tendencies. This is why she is called Mahishasura Mardani, the destroyer of Mahishasura, the demon. Mahisa meaning a buffalo. Isn't there a buffalo in our minds as well? The buffalo stands for tamoguna, the quality of laziness, darkness, ignorance and inertia. We have these qualities too. We love to sleep. Although we may have a lot of energy and potentials inside us, we prefer to do nothing. Just like the buffalo that likes to lie in the pool of water. In the Puranic story, Durga Devi's killing of the Mahisa demon is symbolically the destruction of the tamoguna within us that is very difficult to destroy. In the Durga Devi Havana, the sacrifice, we invoke that divine power within us to destroy our animalistic tendencies. Now Lakshmi, for knowledge to dawn with us, we have to prepare our minds. The mind must be pure, concentrated and single-pointed. This purification of the mind is obtained through the worship of Lakshmi Devi. In our society today, however, when we think of Lakshmi, we think only of money, counting gold and dollar bills. This is why, if one goes to a Lakshmi temple, one will find a crowd. Everybody likes Lakshmi Puja, Lakshmi worship, because they think she represents material wealth. But what is the real wealth? Even if we have material wealth, but no self-discipline or self-control, nor the values of love, kindness, respect and sincerity, all our material wealth will be lost or destroyed. The real wealth is the inner wealth of spiritual values that we practice in our lives, by which our minds become purified. Only when we have these noble values will we be able to preserve our material wealth and make good use of it. Otherwise, money itself becomes a problem. In the Upanishads, the rishis never asked for material wealth. In the mantras of the Taittiriya Upanishad, they first asked to have all the noble virtues fully developed in them. Having gained the noble virtues thereafter, Lord, please bring wealth to us. The rishis express here that in the absence of right values and good qualities, all our money will be wasted. And there are countless examples of this in the world around us. Our wealth of virtue is our true Lakshmi. Its importance is shown by the fact that Adi Shankaracharya himself in Birkachudamani describes that Sat Sampati or 6 forms of wealth, calmness of mind, self-control, self-withdrawal, forbearance, faith and single-pointedness that are to be cultivated to attain wisdom. These virtues are important because our goal is victory over the mind. A victory such that we do not get disturbed by every change that takes place in our lives. This victory comes only when the mind is prepared, and this mental preparation is symbolism of the Lakshmi Puja. Now Saraswati. Victory over the mind can be gained only through knowledge, through understanding, and it is Goddess Saraswati who represents this highest knowledge of the self. Although there are many kinds of knowledge in the Vedas, phonetics, astronomy, archery, architecture, economics, and so on, their real knowledge is in the spiritual knowledge. Lord Krishna himself says in the Bhagavad Gita, the knowledge of the self is the knowledge. The knowledge of the self is the knowledge. And he adds, it is my vibhuti, my glory. In other words, we may have knowledge of many other subjects and sciences, but if we do not know our own self, then that is the greatest loss. Therefore, the supreme knowledge is the knowledge of the self that is represented by Goddess Saraswati. Now, I will tell you something about Navaratri. Thus at Navaratri, Goddess Durga is invoked first to remove impurities from the mind. The Goddess Lakshmi is invoked to cultivate the noble values and qualities. Finally, Saraswati is invoked for gaining the highest knowledge of the self. That is the significance of the 3 sets of 3 nights when all these 3 are gained subjectively, and then there will be Vijayadasami, the day of the victory. At Navaratri time, the Rasa dance, the dance of joy of Sri Krishna and the gopis is also performed. As the mind becomes purer, calmer, quieter, and more cheerful, and greater understanding is gained, do we not feel happier? Similarly, the Rasa dance is a dance of joy and realization. But nowadays, the theme of Sri Krishna and the gopis dancing on the Rasa seems to have been lost in our society. The true meaning and purpose of the ritual is often forgotten, as more importance is given to other types of dancing. Why is the Navaratri festival celebrated at night rather than in the daytime? There is another interesting question. Night time is generally the time when we go to sleep. So the spiritual messages, you have lived long enough in the sleepy ignorance of Tamoguna. It's the time to wake up now. Please wake up. For a puja, unfortunately, we are never willing to stay up late, and so we ask, what time will it end? For a party, we never ask this question. If the party ends at 10 p.m, we say, what? The party is finished. What kind of a party is that? Yet, we find it difficult to stay awake for a puja. Now I'll tell you what is the importance of rituals. Not everyone, it's true, will be of the intellectual type to appreciate everything philosophically. Therefore, philosophy or spiritual truth must be demonstrated visually in some ritualistic form. In this way, when children are first introduced to it, they enjoy a dance or a festival, and then later begin to question, what is the dance? Why are we doing this puja? What is the meaning of Navaratri? So the purpose of the concertized ritual is fulfilled when these questions begin to arise in the children's mind. Unfortunately, when we take our children to functions at the temples and they begin to ask questions about what they see, we cannot answer them. Yet, when the children revolt later as teenagers, we say, what happened to the children? These kids are terrible. We never used to question our religion. We take pride in that fact that we never used to question anything. But it would have been better if we had asked questions and found out. Why did we not ask? Because of intellectual inertia. Inertia is of different kinds. Physical inertia is not as bad because it is usually temporary. There are also mental or emotional stupors that some people remain in. But the intellectual inertia is the worst kind because under its influence, we do not want to think at all. It is said that people can live without air for 2 minutes, without water for a few days, without food for a month or so, and without thinking for generations. Some people just do not want to think. This is our inner Mahisha, the lazy buffalo. And our spiritual Mahisa is that we do not want to wake up from the sleep of ignorance. As we can see, the theme of entire Vedas is reflected in the Navaratri festival. Purify the mind and remove all negativities. Cultivate positive virtues. Gain spiritual knowledge and transcend limitations. This is the real victory, the dance of joy. Ritualistically performed at night, as is also on Shivaratri, auspicious night, to signify our spiritual awakening. So thank you. Please subscribe to my channel Perfect Guardian and give your comments.